day, everybody. It is Calxiyn here, and thank you for attending Calxyn's Royal Court today, where we have gathered to watch Attack on Titan, episode 78, The Two Brothers. And Colt has a very concerning expression on his face, so I'm kind of like tentatively excited. I'm excited but scared at the exact same time. So I hope that you guys will enjoy this reaction and review where we will discuss, analyze, and theorize. Remember that if you want to support the channel as well as watch the watch along with me, that'll be up on Patreon. It is a you press play when I press play type of deal. And so if you want to watch the whole episode with me throughout, that way that will be an option. But otherwise, this will be my reaction highlights, and then afterwards we will do that review. And so I hope that you guys enjoy, and let's just get into it. Gillard is just trying so hard. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh, okay, he's still in there though, but he's bleeding in his head. Oh, Gillard's just gonna get... Oh no. Is he gonna be okay? Oh shit. Oh no, I hope Gillard will be okay. Maybe Falco will get Gillard's powers? Oh good job, Mikasa. Nice! Zeke, oh my god, Zeke, come on, please. Oh fuck. Oh! Come on, Eren! No, Porco! Come on, he's okay! He's okay! No! Oh! Oh? Okay. Fuck! Wait! Why is Eren saying wait? Fuck! But why would Zeke care? They have no other choice, though. But Eren wanted him to stop, too. It's like Eren knew that this would happen. It's like Eren wanted Falco to get Zeke's powers. It's like Eren knew. Fuck, but Zeke still feels bad though, doesn't he? It seems like he does, like he truly does seem to feel guilty. Oh! Oh no! But he can't! He's gonna say he can't! No! Zeke! But I knew he was gonna do it anyway! No! I knew though he was saying that! No! Oh. Huh? Who? Get Reiner? Oh! That's actually kind of cool though. Like, sorry to Reiner, but the fact that Zeke could control Falco to get Reiner's power. Wait, Colt? Is Colt dead? No! No! The heat must have killed him. Reiner, would you really kill Falco, Reiner? No! Reiner, come on! Good! Get him! Yeah, I feel like Eren wants something with Falco, though. Come on! I don't want Reiner to die, but like... Oh god, oh good, oh, come on! Good job, Armin! Be careful, guys! Nice! Good job, Mikasa! No, it's clearly it's not. No, because just because he's disintegrating into bone doesn't mean he's dead. It's like, that's like the same thing with Peck. No, Reiner, no! Oh, Gabby! But Zeke's not dead. I don't think Zeke is dead. But it's not over. Huh? Oh, Gillard! Oh, that's right! Porco wants Reiner to live too. Oh! Oh, Porco! But that was so, like, noble and, like, valiant. Oh, no! What the fuck just happened? Eren, what? That, I know I shouldn't have been laughing, but, like, he did what? Yeah, see, he did the exact same thing that Pet did. Yeah, exactly. I knew it. I knew it. Go, Eren. Go, 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 go. Go. Come on. No. Nice. Good job. Yay. Oh my god. Oh. I didn't even get time to mourn Porco. I didn't even get time to No. No, 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 no. Gabby, no. Could Eren really die right here? They wouldn't do that. No. That's not possible. No. How can that be? We're just gonna leave it like that? What do you mean? Ymir must resurrect Eren or something. No, just like his head flying. Just like the baseball flying, his head is flying. I hate that. No, not like this. But they still made contact. Oh, fuck. Yeah, that girl, that's Ymir, isn't it? Oh, we're at the paths again. Oh. What? What? Wait, but okay, right? I don't believe this. Yeah, can we get a little bit of that for Eren, you know? Oh. Maybe he wants to free her too. Can't he just command Ymir to bring him back to life, though? If he can do anything with this power, can't he just... What if he doesn't, though? What if he tells her to bring himself back? No, it's a fake out. Yes! It was a fake out, yeah! All he wanted to do was get in here! Let's go! Let's go! Good job, Eren! Let's go! Oh, even in death, I can allow it. I'm sorry, Zeke. I'm sorry, Zeke, but like, what did you expect? Oh, wait, shit! I think Zeke played him too! Because she's not answering. No! 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 Zeke was just pretending! Oh, no! Damn! No! This is so bad! So Zeke played it in return! Almost! No! No! Fuck, bro! No! This is so bad! Come on! What if Ymir's just pretending? Like, what if what if Ymir's just pretending to go along with Zeke? Oh! Oh! Good! Good! That's good! That's what I said! Eren's fine, I guess. But see, I think he makes Eren go again, like throughout time or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he keeps making Eren continue on until Eren finally agrees with him. And so I think Zeke actually was rewinding time. Maybe that's what happened. All right, everybody, let us get into the discussion now. And Jesus, Lord have mercy. This is going to be very interesting. This is going to be a very interesting discussion, theorizing session, because I have so many thoughts, but I also have none. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, I'm just so shocked. Like, I'm still so shocked by everything. I do have some ideas, but I think that the best thing to do would be to just get into it. And so obviously we had Porco was not looking very good. And I didn't bring up Porco as a possibility as much because basically our candidates were Reiner, Porco, or Zeke, right? And so I didn't bring up Porco as much, and so that was a nice, it was not nice, it was a surprise. It was nice to be surprised, I guess. It subverted my expectations, let's say that a bit more eloquently. But Zeke just goes to town on, like, beating the shit out of him. And it was just so distressing, like, to see him do that. But it did sort of solidify his fate in a way. Meanwhile, Zeke over here was like, not delirious, but he was like, you know, he got hit in the head, so he was a bit confused. He's like, I fell. And I'm like, yeah, you did, sir. Was I shot? And obviously then we have Eren over here just like missing a whole ass arm. I mean, Eren has bigger problems. Like, all things considered, Eren has bigger problems this episode, to be perfectly honest. But all that being said, I just found this scene like super compelling. I thought that it was just beautifully done because you have Reiner touching Porco and then Porco inheriting these memories that Reiner has of Porco's brother, basically telling him, you were never meant to be chosen as the warrior. I just wanted to spare my brother from having to be like a warrior. I just wanted to protect him, right? And now we see kind of like the tragedy in that Porco eventually had to go to war anyway, despite the sacrifice that his brother was trying to make. And so in a way, right, Porco's brother sacrificed Reiner to protect Porco, and now Porco is sacrificing himself to protect Reiner. But the other layer of that is that Porco is sacrificing himself in order to facilitate Falco being alive as well. And so there's just a lot of like symbolism with that in a way. You know, all of these sacrifices, and it's like, well, my brother did this for me, so I will do this for Colt's brother as well, and I will do this to protect Reiner because Reiner protected me. And I did see people bring up, I don't remember this, so like, you know, fun if true, I guess, but they basically, somebody was saying that the Jaw Titan has died like 3 times protecting Reiner. The first one I definitely remember, like I remember, obviously, Porco's brother died, we all remember that, that was shown last season. I guess they're talking about Ymir as protecting Reiner the second time, but I don't actually remember that, so like take their word for it. And so it's like, people are saying it's like the Jaw Titan curse. Like the Jaw Titan has protected Reiner or sacrificed himself for Reiner in some way 3 times now. But yeah, I don't remember that in the context of Ymir, like of Scout Ymir, as we call her. And so what's interesting is that in this scene, right, Zeke is saying we have to summon the Titans, but for some reason, Eren tries to tell him to wait, and Reiner actually sees this, right? And so I feel like that there's something kind of freaky going on here. Or is it just because, like, I thought that they both said wait. I thought that Eren was saying wait, but then also Colt was saying wait. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seemed like that Eren wanted to stop him. And so I think that that's kind of interesting. Like, why does Eren want to stop Zeke? And I feel like it's gonna have to do with all the fuckity-wuckity, like, Misty Tinkle shit that we're seeing in the Paths area. Misty Tinkle is just like, you know, I don't know, like magical bullshit woohoo, I guess is the best way that I can explain it. But anyway, that's another story for another day. So the Misty Tinkle stuff that is happening in the Paths, right? I feel like that what may be happening, I guess I'll just talk about it now because it's relevant, okay? I feel like that, like theory number 1, there's 2 ways that they can do this. First of all, Zeke rebuilds Eren and just puts his head back on, functionally, right? Just puts his head back on, that's how it goes, right? And then maybe even like reprograms him so he is now like fully committed to Zeke's plan, right? So he basically makes like an Eren replica, and that replica is, I don't want to say subservient, but is brainwashed, right? To, I guess, agree with Zeke and agree with the euthanization plan. But the only thing with that is, though, is that, like, he could have done it already. Like, you know what I mean? Zeke could have done the euthanization plan already because Zeke has all the power here. So there would be no purpose to just, you know, bring Eren back to be like subservient to Zeke in that way. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make as much sense to me. What makes sense to me, okay, and this may be a little bit crazy, right? You guys may think this is a little crazy, okay? But what I actually think is happening is that Zeke is going to turn back time. And I know that sounds, again, that sounds a little wild, but there's something about, like, I don't know, it's just these little things throughout the entirety of, like, all of the anime, throughout the entirety of everything, right? Like, Eren extending his hand and telling Zeke to wait. I feel like that may be because Eren has, like, memories of, like, different realities in different lifetimes. What I think is happening is that Zeke keeps sending himself back in time over and over and over again, but he never remembers. He doesn't actually remember until he gets to, like, Ymir's area, right? And that's when he remembers that he's done all of this before, and he's hoping that this time, like, he's convinced Eren of the plan. Does that make any sense? That's actually what I feel like is happening, is that Zeke is making alternate realities where he's trying to change something in Eren's life to make him agree with the plan. You know, like, I don't know what those changes would be exactly, but say, for example, right, let's just pretend that, you know, the last time Zeke tried this, he was like, you know what, I'm going to invent Eren to have a best friend. Then he'll want to go with the euthanization plan. And he invents, like, Armin, let's just pretend. And he, like, makes Armin, and he goes back in time, but now Eren has Armin, right? To push his desire, like, for freedom and stuff. So I'm just thinking that, like, take that concept, take that, like, fundamental idea, and then stick that idea just into whatever happens next. Like, I'm not literally saying that, like, Zeke made Armin, but I'm just saying that maybe that's, like, the concept, is that Zeke keeps going back in time and he tries to keep adjusting Eren's life, but he can't adjust it too much. If he adjusts it too much, Eren will not be the same anymore, right? Like, they can't just, like, you know, kill their dad and, like, stuff like that. He can't do that. So he keeps going back in time, and he keeps, like, adjusting little things about Eren's life in the hopes that maybe this time he'll be convinced. And that's why he seems, like, so tearful and so disappointed, because he thought that this time he really had it. And so that's why he says, I'm gonna go back and fix you, right? Because he's just been going back in time continuously. And that's why he doesn't want to, like, you know, just be like, oh, well, you know, screw you, Eren, I'm gonna do the euthanization plan. I have all the power here, because it's not about that. It's about convincing Eren to be on his side. But he doesn't want to convince Eren to be on his side artificially, I don't think. He wants it to happen naturally, right? So he doesn't want to force Eren or brainwash Eren, but he genuinely wants Eren to believe that the euthanization plan is the best course of action. But the only way he's able to do that is if he goes back in time. But I don't think that reality Zeke knows that, but Path Zeke does. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think that Zeke knows, like, in terms of, like, right here. I don't think that Zeke remembers here. It's only when, like, you know, destiny continues on and they both touch each other that he remembers that he's tried to rebuild Eren multiple times and change fate and stuff. And I feel like that could be why there's so many, like, weird vision thingies happening. And maybe, like, Eren feels like this weird deja vu stuff sometimes. Like, maybe that's the reason. It's because he's been down this path before. He just doesn't remember that Zeke keeps remaking the world with the power of the founder, basically. Yeah, so that's one idea I have. But let's talk about this scene. I just wanted to talk about that now because I thought that him telling Zeke to wait could have been, like, a deja vu thing. It's that Eren knows if Zeke screams, Falco will turn, which will result in Eren's death, which will result in, right? So I was thinking that maybe Eren remembered somehow, like, you know what I mean? He got a sense of deja vu and was like, no, Zeke, stop. don't scream yet because I remember, like, if you scream, Gabby will shoot me and then I'll die and then you'll trick me. Like, it was just like an internal sort of sense of it. But yeah, I really liked this scene because somebody made a very good point last week, because I was like, Colt, why would you do this? Like, why do you think that Zeke would give a fuck? That's basically what I had said last week. And someone made a good point that, like, Colt doesn't really have any other choice. Like, even if Zeke does not give a single fuck, there is no other option than to do this. And so I thought that that was a really good point. It's desperation. It's not necessarily like wholly genuine. It's more of like a desperation thing, right? And then obviously we see some different facial expressions here. But Reiner says, what was that? Right? And so he says, what was that, as if, like, he saw that Eren was going to stop him and is wondering why Eren would stop Zeke from screaming. And I think it's, again, because of what I said. I think that what's happening, and this may be, I don't know, this may be, again, kind of weird, but I think that what's happening is that Eren deep inside, like, knows that Zeke is gonna betray him, and, like, that he's been through all of these, like, lives before or something, and that he was trying to, like, stop Zeke from screaming, to, like, stop the reality from, like, continuing on this path where, like, Eren dies and gets betrayed and everything. And so I think that Reiner noticed that, like, something was off about Eren's behavior there. You know, and I think he noticed, like, wait, well, why would Eren want to stop Zeke from screaming? That's a little weird, right? But what if it's because Eren deep inside knows that if Zeke screams, Eren will, like, die again and the whole thing will happen again, right? And so that's just sort of, like, what I'm thinking about. Whereas, if they touch, here's what I'm assuming, okay? The only reason, maybe not the only reason, but one of the reasons why, like, Zeke basically says in the little, like, you know, in the paths area, he basically says something to, I guess, the degree or something akin to, like, I have spent so much time here, I figured it all out. I spent so much time waiting for you to basically, like, be rebuilt or whatever, or to, like, arrive here after you died. I figured it all out. But if Eren's alive and they touch, maybe that wouldn't happen. And so then maybe Eren would be able to use the founding power. That's just sort of what I'm thinking. Do you guys know what I'm sorry to say, do you know what I mean so many times, but does that make any sense? Because Eren died, Zeke was, like, lying in wait in the pass area, and he says, like, oh yeah, I figured out how to break the curse because I've spent all these mindless years with the founder, like, waiting for you to wake up, right? Like, he says it like that, and so I wonder if Eren was alive and they touched, it wouldn't take years because they would both just, like, instantly be there. And so then Eren could, like, reclaim the power back that way. It also, like, it begs the question whether or not Zeke always knew this, because we always thought of it like Zeke was the key, but Eren had the power. Zeke is saying that Eren's the key, but Zeke has all the power, right? Which is different than what we've known. So I wonder if this was just a result of Eren dying. Basically, if Eren takes too long to get there, if Eren takes too long to, like, get to the path dimension because, like, he's dead, you know? Like, if he takes too long to get to the path dimension, Zeke will figure everything out. But if they can touch while they're both still alive, then Eren may be able to, like, you know, use the power, and then Zeke will still be, like, brainwashed or something. You know what I mean? Like, he'll still be, like, affected or whatever. Like, whatever made him unable to use all of the things in the first place, right? Because remember, like, the whole thing is that Zeke does not have the founding Titan power, and that he is basically, like, connecting with Eren because it's like, I have royal blood, but if I eat you, I will, like, instantly be brainwashed, and so we have to work together. Like, that was the whole thing, right? And so what I'm sort of getting here is that while Eren was dead, he was just chilling, like, with the founder power, and he, like, was struggling against it for a long time, and then he finally, like, broke out of it. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Do you guys know what I mean? Because that's the whole thing, is that Eren has the founder, and that Zeke has the royal blood. And so, like, maybe if they both arrive at the same time, it'll turn back to, like, Zeke just being the key, and then Eren having all the power. But because Zeke was waiting there so long, the power just kind of, like, you know, he wore the power down over time in order to use it himself, and Eren was, like, gone and stuff, right? And so, yeah, I love this, like, dialogue from Colt right here. I rarely understood you even before you betrayed us, but I don't think you're someone who would drag a kid into this. And he seems like almost genuinely tearful at this point. He does seem like genuinely remorseful and not wanting this to happen, and I think that that's very interesting, right? I'm not saying you should just lie down and die, but wait until Falco's out of range for your scream, right? And I just love this shot because he just looks so disturbed. Like, he does look genuinely disturbed. I love it. Like, kill whoever you want, right? But just leave my brother out of it. I just thought that, like, it's kind of funny, but it's also, like, very heartfelt and emotional, obviously. And I just love how desperate he is. He's like, hey, like, you know, slaughter to your heart's content afterwards, but don't bring my brother into it, right? And then we have Gabby on the horse. So I'm assuming that their plan was that they would both ride off together outside of the city in that giant hole that's behind Zeke, right? But instead, Zeke says, Colt, only too well do I understand the feelings for one's brother, right? And then we get the scene with Eren here. And see, like, Eren's making some peculiar, suspicious faces, right? And see, I knew it. I knew. He was like, I all too well understand. That's why the answer has to be no, because he wants to save Eren, right? He wants to save Eren versus being able to help it. See, he looks genuinely sad, too. Like, he looks genuine. It's a shame. Yeah, I know. That's what oh, man. I was just like, fuck. Because it always goes that way. It's like, I understand that feeling all too well. That's why I can't help you, right? Oh my God, it was just so fucked. And then seeing, like, the scream go down like this, I love, first of all, I love Colt, like, you know, hugging his brother until the very end and comforting him until the end. And also, that's why I feel like that the deaths in this episode may not be entirely permanent, because I think we're going to go back in time, and I think things are going to happen again, right? Like, I think that we're gonna try again, basically. I don't know what changes Zeke will make this time, but I think that we're, like, rewinding, and so it's possible that Porco and Colt will be okay. Some people may think that's kind of cheap, though. Like, oh, like, you rewound time and now everybody's alive and, like, stuff like that. But I don't know. Like, I feel like that, like, other shows do alternate realities, and it's like, it would only happen maybe this one time, or maybe it would happen a bunch of times, and then it's just like, everything's just fucked. I don't know. Anyway, and so then we see Gabby, and Gabby, like, I can't even imagine. First, she sees Falco turn into a Titan. Then she sees that Colt dies, right? And then she sees her, like, Reiner, they're related, right? They're cousins. He's getting, or is he her uncle? Anyway, like, either way, like, now he's getting eaten. Like, it's just constant death for Gabby in those scenes. But yeah, I feel bad because, like, this man got turned into a Titan, and so did the commander. Like, I think his name is Pixis, right? And so I was just like, damn, that's fucked. But that's also why I think that, like, the time travel thing may be real, because I feel like that, like, all of these, like, very, how do you say, like, impactful characters, these characters we've been with for a while now, characters like Pixis, right, have, you know, kind of died. And I don't want to say it's unceremonious, because I do feel like that this was a very impactful scene, but I do think that, like, I'm a little suspicious on the permanency of any of their deaths. I just thought that this was funny. Attack on Titan has such a weird sense of humor. Like, it's like death and destruction, but then this little, like, you know, this Titan's just playing peekaboo behind the tower and everything. And so, yeah, you actually do see that he seems kind of, like, remorseful about it, but now he's actually saving Falco in a way, because he's like, hey, Falco, if you eat Reiner, like, you'll be fine, you know? And so he's actually, like, he did help Falco in the end, which is kind of weird then that he wouldn't just tell that to Colt, I should say. Like, why didn't he just tell Colt, oh, well, you know, it's fine, I'll just, you know, I'll turn your brother into a Titan and then he can go eat Reiner, you know what I mean? Like, he could have just, but I understand why he didn't, like, it makes perfect sense. I'm just saying that, like, Zeke has the intention of saving Falco in a way, right? But then Falco would sort of be forced to fight for them, I'm sure. But yeah, you just see how, like, fucked up Gabby is after all this, just emotionally. And then Colt is just like, he's not even, like, you can't even see him anymore. He's not even identifiable because I don't want to say the flames, the heat just, like, tore off all of his skin, and it's horrible, right? And then she sees that Falco is over there, but Reiner is, like, you know, holding him down. And so it's like, Reiner's my cousin, but Falco's, like, my friend, and, you know, the guy that just confessed his love for me, right? And so it's just very emotionally tumultuous. Anyway, it's just, there's a bunch of stuff going on for Gabby right here, because on one hand, Reiner, like, kind of does have to fight both of them and stay alive, but on the other hand, you know, Falco is there too, so for Gabby, I feel like that it's hard to watch even just for that reason. Because now Falco could be saved by Reiner, but it's not like she wants Reiner to die either, right? And so he's saying, like, the one to end Falco, is it me? Like, he's saying, like, how could I do this? Like, am I really gonna be the person that, like, kills my little cousin's best friend, right? Like, I feel like that it was just so, like, emotional watching all this happen. And then, right, it's interesting because Eren tosses Reiner off, right? But then that allows Falco to get to Reiner. So I wonder if that was part of Eren's plan, was maybe like, you know, in a way to get Reiner out of the picture was for Falco to eat him, right? Because that would be more beneficial for them, because they could at least convince Falco to fight on their side, maybe, asterisks, right? Like, maybe, but it would at least get rid of Reiner in, like, this, like, particular moment, even if Falco did go back to fight with Marley. But what's interesting is he says here, and he's like, you know, like, I wonder if I should just, like, let it all happen, after he thinks that Zeke is dead, of course. But what's interesting here is I'm a little like, I don't know about this. I have, like, mixed feelings on what could be happening here. On one hand, I think that, like, Eren is kicking him because Reiner still has, like, a grip. He wants Reiner to let go so he can run away and, like, you know, get to Zeke, obviously. Like, that could be one thing. But then the other thing that I wonder is, like, what if he didn't want Falco to eat Reiner? What if he wanted Falco to eat Zeke? Because I had, like, you know what I mean? Like, there was something that had said, right? Like, that had been said by Reiner, where Reiner says, was this your plan all along, Eren? And so it suspiciously sounded like maybe, like, Eren was planning to get rid of Zeke. Maybe because Eren knows, like, deep inside of his consciousness from his past lives that Zeke is, like, out for him, right? And so maybe, like, that's, like, the trick of it all, is that Zeke thinks that Eren has, like, no memory of being rebuilt, but maybe Eren does have vague enough memories in order to plan against, or, like, want to plan against Zeke. Because that line from Reiner is still kind of perplexing me, because Reiner was like, Eren, did you want this to happen? The last person that should get that power is you. And that made it sound like Eren wasn't just trying to get to Zeke so they could use the power, but that Eren was trying to eat Zeke and get the power. So I wonder, like, if that was also, like, I don't know, it seems like that there's a layered plan with all of this. And the way that Eren looked at Zeke last episode was kind of weird. And so I just feel like that there's more going on than we understand, and that maybe, like, deep inside Eren has some sort of, like, memory, and that's, like, why he basically wanted to, like, get rid of Zeke at this point. Or something. I don't know. Maybe I misinterpreted what Reiner said. But yeah, we have this awesome slash from Mikasa that was just super, super cool right here. And then Peck is just like, it's over for you guys, right? And then it's like, it's over. Because now, like, Zeke's obviously pretending to be dead. So glad that I caught that. Eren can't use the Founding Titan's power now. We fulfilled our duty. I can just let it happen now, right? So at this point, Reiner's just like, well, you know what? Why don't I die? And again, just another, like, really emotional shot from Gabby, because Gabby now understands that, like, Reiner is willing to sacrifice himself for Falco. And I just thought that that was, like, so, like, touching and emotional. But then you have Porco, and Porco's like, well, I'm not dying for nothing. And I felt like that was great, because he's basically saying, I'm fucked. I have no more power to heal myself, and I'm dying, and I'm not dying for nothing, right? So I may as well die to protect Reiner, which I thought was great. And I loved that, right? Because, like, in Porco's mind, you know, he's gonna die either way. There is no saving Porco, but he can still repay the favor and save Reiner, and I just love that. And I love the little smile he had, you know, like, there's no denying it now, I was always better than you, and you see, like, the tears in his eyes, and it's just like, it would be really unfortunate if the time travel thing is true, just because, like, then maybe there would be a chance of saving Porco, but just because the time travel thing is true doesn't necessarily mean that Porco will still, like, make it, right? And so I feel like that you can still make his death impactful and do the time travel situation at the same time. But you just see how that fucks up Gabby as well, because it's like she's watching two people she cared about on different levels, but still, like, you know, Porco, somebody who she respected at least, right? And then Porco, like, dying and Falco getting to live, but it's that, like, mixed emotion. You know what I mean? It's like Falco survives, but Gillard has died in order to facilitate his survival. So Gabby's just, like, all kinds of fucked up right there. And I love, this was actually, like, kind of funny. I like, oh my god, this was so smart. I just love fucking pretending to be dead worked perfectly. And I was like, oh, that was so smart. But this was what was really fucked up. So you see Connie, and Connie has this look on his face, and he's kind of like, yeah, like, you know, I still hate you, but you, like, let's go. You guys gotta go, you know? So I love that. But yeah, this scene is just so fucked. This is probably the scene that, like, broke the internet, and you just see everybody's expressions, like, where they are when it happened type of thing, and you see Gabby, the tears swell in her eyes, because, like, Gabby last episode was very remorseful. She was like, on this island, there are just people, like, not devils, there are just people, right? But I feel like Gabby now is like, well, there are people on this island, but some of them are bad, you know? And so I feel like this doesn't necessarily invalidate Gabby's character, but in terms of the cycle of revenge, for a minute, it did seem like Gabby gave up wanting revenge to an extent. But then when this all happened to Falco and Colt and Porco, right, she decided, like, no, they kind of do deserve it. And, like, they do, like, from her perspective, right? So I don't think it's actually a backtrack. I think that it's a natural progression of her feelings, right? That Eren and Zeke are responsible for all of this in her mind, right? It's that people here on Paradise are just people. But Eren and Zeke are bad people, so I'll shoot them. That's her thought process. It kind of makes sense. Like, I saw some people saying it was a backtrack. I don't really find it to be a backtrack at all. I think that it makes perfect sense why she did this, actually, at least to me, right? Because it's now evolved from, like, senseless revenge to killing people like Sasha, right, that are just, you know what I mean? I don't want to say don't have a choice, but, like, you guys understand, right? It's not just senseless revenge. It's, like, pointed revenge. It's Eren kind of deserves it revenge, again, from her perspective, right? And yeah, the scene with Eren's head cut off, I don't know how much of that I'm gonna be able to show, to be honest, but yeah, that's just so fucked up. And we see over here, we see the birds, right? And so it's sort of like a frozen time thing, like, these are birds that are flying in Paradise, but I wonder if that's supposed to be, like, the metaphor and stuff, like, from the end song. And then obviously we see Falco's like, fly away, birds, like, get away somewhere safer from here, right? Oh yeah, I did check, by the way, I checked Falco's little, you know, his little vision thing, and he said that he was, like, zipping around fighting titans. And so obviously that wouldn't be Porco's memories. I think that that would be more in line with, like, Ymir's memories, right? Because he said, like, oh yeah, I had a sword and I was going, like, whoosh whoosh, right? Like, I checked his vision from the very first episode of season 4, and that's what was said, right? Basically. And so I guess, like, I mean, we always knew that that was foreshadowing. We just didn't know, like, who it was foreshadowing to. But I guess in hindsight, Zeke never flew around and did the whoosh whoosh, right? And so in hindsight, it could have only been Reiner or Porco, really, because Ymir had it before Porco did. Yes, right? And so, like, that, like, the whole thing, you know? And so I feel like that, yeah, in hindsight, it couldn't have been Zeke feeling as if he was flying around killing titans, because the only people that really flew around and killed anything were Scout Ymir and then Reiner pretending to be a scout. So moving on, right, we have Zeke touching Eren's head, and, like, I've heard when you're decapitated, you're alive for a split second. That's probably what this is. So what's interesting is we see Mikasa, right? Then we see, I'm pretty sure that this is Reiner in earlier seasons. Then we see, this is the sister of Eren's dad. Then we see someone who I'm not entirely sure who this is, so you guys may have to tell me, but is that not Eren's mom? Was that Gersha's first wife? Maybe? I don't know. Somebody's brushing their hair, and so I'm not entirely sure who that is, actually. Then we have, I'm not entirely sure who this is either, to be perfectly honest with you, but it seems like they're wearing an armband, and so they're from Marley? Question mark? Then we see Armin with his little, like, you know, he has his little sparkles and his magical book and everything. This was the royal family, and this is everybody that Gersha killed. I think that that makes sense, actually. That would make sense. Then we see Levi. I don't know. Is that Ymir? Like, Scout Ymir? I'm not sure. I'm spitballing. Actually, that's Sasha, I think. Sasha's eating the potato. I take it back. Then we have Connie, right? And who I'm assuming is Jean in front of him. Then we have Falco looking at him. We see something is going on over here which it's kind of hard to tell what's happening, but I think maybe that's a scene where like the sister was like killed, or maybe actually I think that that's a scene where Zeke turns against his parents. Like, or yeah, like he turns against Girsha and everything. I think that may be the scene. And then we just see like Skull and like Red, which I'm not sure what that is other than maybe the Colossal, I don't know. Then we have somebody in a sauna, which I'm not entirely sure who that is. I don't know if that's Zeke or maybe that's Reiner. I don't know why they're in a sauna either. I don't remember that happening at all. Then we have, I think this is Girsha as a child. And then that's Girsha as an adult. So like that's Girsha witnessing like the death of his sister, and then Girsha as an adult. And this is a really cool scene in my opinion, because you have sort of this like darkness and light theme. And it seems like Girsha is actually kind of like in the sand almost. And so like if Girsha had the founder, like maybe he like, you know, he tried to go in there and then he figured out that he couldn't do the thing, you know, like maybe that could have been it. Like he got the power, but he couldn't actually use it. Then we have the bird flying over somewhere. And so again, this bird metaphor is really getting to me. And I wonder, I don't know, I wonder a lot of things, you know? And okay, so here's a good question. Will Falco still be a flying titan if he got the jaw titan? I guess not, right? That's kind of sad, because I had a theory that if he got the beast titan, his beast would be a bird. But now with jaw, I don't know how that'll manifest. I don't know how it works. Maybe he can still fly. I don't know fucking how though. But yeah, then we have the key. So it's kind of that implication again, like that Eren, you know, is the key and all of that stuff. Is that Historia? I don't know. I'm just spitballing. Now we have some weird stuff that I can't explain. We have a very goth-looking character. Like, this reminds me of, like, Misa, like, from Death Note. I don't know. Is that supposed to be Mikasa? But, like, it doesn't really look like... I mean, it kind of looks like her, but not really, right? But, yeah, it's like there's a cross and like black lipstick and stuff, so I don't know what that's supposed to be. And we also have Armin, and he's wearing a pair of glasses over here. So yeah, I have absolutely no context for this, but this is why I kind of think that the alternate reality thing could be real, because what if that's like the vision from the alternate reality, like a reality, because there is Attack on Titan Junior High where they're just all in school. So what if like that's an alternate reality or something? Like what if like it's that people thought that was just some like spin-off shit, but it's actually kind of canon because it's an alternate reality, you know? Yeah, so we see the bird sort of flying again, and then we see Ymir, and we go into the paths, right? And so I wonder if like the bird is supposed to be Eren or the bird is supposed to be Falco at this point, like I thought, or maybe it's not supposed to be either of them, right? And so we see Eren in the path area. The coordinate where all paths converge, I believe. Those who use the founding Titan's power must come here. And so was this like, was Zeke rebuilding himself, like foreshadowing to the fact that he could use it all along? Like he wasn't just saved by Ymir, he saved himself. Like he used the power and forced her to save him. Like that could have been foreshadowing to the fact that he knew this earlier and that he's lying about this thing of like, oh yeah, like I've been waiting for you, like, and in the time that I've been waiting for you, I figured out how to use my power, because if he used it to rebuild himself, because I thought that was divine intervention. Like I thought that Ymir took it upon herself to do that, but that actually may have been foreshadowing to the fact that Zeke could have used the founder's powers all along, and that there was never anything, like, you know what I mean? There was never anything, right? Like that he was able to use it the entire time, and that he used it to rebuild himself literally, right? We succeeded, we obtained the founding Titan's power. And so somebody's here, so yeah, that's founder Ymir. Who else but the founder Ymir would be wandering in a place like this? One time, she rebuilt my body with this earth and brought me back to life. See, so I think Zeke ordered her to do that. I think Zeke actually activated his power, and so he has had access to the power the entire time. He could have done the euthanization plan at any time, but the thing is, it's not about the euthanization plan, it's about wanting unity with his brother at this point. At least that's what I think, right? What's interesting is, Eren says, all alone here forever. And so I feel like that maybe he'll want to like free her somehow. That's sort of the vibe that I'm getting, because he knows what it's like to be in a prison. He knows what it's like to, you know, feel trapped in a cage, and so is she. So I wonder if like the end game for the series will be Eren doing something to give her her freedom so she doesn't need to build anymore, right? Eren commanded the founder Ymir, the time has come to fulfill our dream. And so then he basically tricks him with the chains, right? Like, only you can move freely. You know, please save the world. And so this is when I loved this. I loved this because you see, like, the desperation in Zeke's eyes, but then, like, in my heart, I so desperately wanted him to, like, betray him. And that's why I think that that was great. Like, this was a great scene. But see, Zeke is very tearful. It's almost like he already knows that Eren's not going to do it. And I love this because it finally confirms to us as the audience that Eren was never on board with the plan in the first place. But that's why it would be a lot more painful if Zeke brings him back to life and he's like a replica of his former self who blindly agrees. Because it's like the Eren we knew died here. But the Eren that we see, like, say, next episode, let's pretend, the Eren that we see next episode is just a shell, but all of his friends think that he went along with the plan the entire time. And so it's like Armin was always right that Eren would have not gone with the plan, but Armin would never know it because, like, Eren has been reprogrammed and there's no way to save him. Like, Eren's just like a replica, right? But that's why I don't think that that's the thing. I don't think that they're just gonna bring him back next episode and kind of make him like a weird, like, replica. I think that Zeke actually wants to convince him to change. I don't think he wants to force him to change. I think he wants to actually convince him to go along with the plan, right? As long as Eldians exist, this hell will never end. All we've been through will just cycle for eternity. And so, see, that's what I think is the key word here, right? I think that the reason why Zeke is saying this, he doesn't mean it in a metaphorical way, like as long as Eldians are alive, everything will continue. He means it literally because he's done this before. He has gone back in time, right? He has adjusted the past to try to convince Eren before. And so he's saying that all we've been through will just cycle because every time you disagree with me, I will reset the timeline. That's what I think. Right? And so, see, he's like, why, Eren? Answer me. Like, why do you keep doing this? Because I was born into this world, right? And I think that's just so powerful, and it just fits with, like, Eren's theming and his character arc this entire time to think that, right? I was born, and so I can't prevent other people from being born. I was born to change the world. In a way, like, that's sort of how I feel. I was born, and I cannot allow you to do that because I have my own plans to change the world, right? But Ymir totally fucking ignores him, right? And so this is when we get the double play, right? Because Eren played Zeke, but Zeke played Eren again. Is this the result of father's brainwashing again? Right? And see, again is very interesting here because when was the first time? Maybe there was one and I just don't remember. And I'm just like, you know, making stuff up at this point because I forget plot lines and stuff. But he says again, is this the result of father's brainwashing again? As if this has happened before, right? As if he's tried everything to stop, like, you know, Gearsha from being able to brainwash Eren, right? But now, like, he can't, right? Maybe he means it, like, in a different sense, like that Gearsha brainwashed Zeke. And so, is this the result of father's brainwashing again? Like, he brainwashed you the same way he brainwashed me? But I wonder if it could be, like, a more, you know, more metaphorical meaning, I guess. In the time it took for you to wake up, I learned many things. The founder can make anything, even these earthen chains, right? And so, see, that's where I'm like, like, you know what I mean? I feel like that maybe he had done it the entire time, you know, like he knew it the entire, but wait, how did he fix himself? How would he have convinced, how would he have gotten Ymir to fix him if he wasn't in contact with Eren yet to be able to use the Founding Titan's power? Maybe Ymir did do that of her own will then? Because, like, you know what I mean? Zeke doesn't have that power. He only has that power by touching Eren, but maybe he used his royal blood to, like, manifest her saving him. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, he basically says, like, I spent a mind-numbing amount of time with her, and I'm not tainted by the first king's ideals, right? Because that was the whole thing, that if Zeke got Eren's powers, he would be instantly brainwashed, but Zeke has spent time with Eren's powers, you know what I mean? Zeke has spent time with Eren's powers, and now he can, like, use it, right? He can nullify the vow. Through possessing tremendous power, the founder is a slave with no will of her own. She believes that those with royal blood are her masters and obeys them. And so that's something else that he learned. So he basically learned that he doesn't actually need Eren. Like, he needed to touch Eren, but he doesn't need Eren to save the order. Royal blood trumps having the founder's power. That's basically what Zeke is getting at. Now, here's the thing about her, bitch. I think she's actually faking it. I don't know how she can do that, but I think that she's actually faking all of this, and it's gonna be an Uno reverse card 3, where Zeke thinks that he's in control, but he's not. She's just pretending that Zeke's in control, and then she's going to, maybe she won't even side with Eren, maybe she has her own plans, but I think that this may be, like, fake. You know what I mean? I think she may just be pretending to go along with Zeke. Because he's like, yeah, I've obtained the Founder's power, but what if he's just pretending, you know? What if she can actually act on her own free will? And so she's just like pretending for all of this, right? You were no more than the key, right? Because we thought Zeke was the key, but actually Eren was the key, right? At least, you know, Zeke's saying that he is. And so that's why I'm thinking. So yeah, like he does make the chains around him, right? But like, what if it's just Ymir again playing along? You know, like I feel like that this could be like, she is not mind controlled. She could be like, she could have like her own Uno reverse card. It's not your fault. You and I are tragic victims born by that vile father. But I had another father who saved me. You need someone to save you too. See, and so that's the other thing. I will never abandon you. I will fix you with the Founder's power. And so that's what's interesting, right? Is that he's like, I will fix you. And so we have two theories. He can either just remake Eren and reprogram Eren to think that the euthanization plan is a good thing. But I actually think it's more complicated than that. I think that he's like, I'll fix you by going back in time. Like, I will fix you by going back in time and making sure that you get there naturally. You know, like, because I feel like that making Eren into like a mindless zombie would like fuck up the show somehow. You know what I mean? Like, to make him into just a replica who agrees with everything that Zeke says because Zeke reprogrammed him would be a little sus. Whereas going back in time and then Eren still rejecting the euthanization plan, no matter how many times Zeke goes back in time and tries to do it, that would be a little bit more impactful, right? Because even if it's like a reset, right? Even if Eren gets reset, if he comes to the same conclusion that the euthanization plan is wrong every time, that doesn't erase his character. Whereas rebuilding Eren and then making him unable to rebel, that would be kind of fucked up for the rest of the show. The older brother doesn't abandon the younger, right? And so we see Zeke here, and there's stone behind him, which I'm like, what's he doing, right? Like, that's a little sus. And then we also see them, and they're right here. And so that's the other thing that's a little sus, because like, in theory, this could like point towards the second plan, that he just rebuilt Eren is mindless replica Eren, all of that stuff. The reason why I think it actually has to do with like some sort of time travel thing is because we see Eren and Armin in the past. And so that's why I feel like that there's more going on and we're actually resetting the timeline and going back in time, you know? And we see that like Armin is waving to someone, right? And like, it seems like Eren like is looking at them with a wide-eyed expression. And so I actually wonder, could it be possible that like Zeke is going to try to be, like he said like, oh, I had a father to save me. You need someone to save you. Like, what if the next step of Zeke's plan is to invent a father figure, right? Like, as the founder, he's able to recreate the world, and he's recreating the world to include someone that he thinks will be able to guide Eren into the right direction or something. That could be it. And then, yeah, we see, like, somebody's looking at the book with, I guess it's Zeke's mom and dad, and they're, like, with Zeke, right? And he's closing that book. And then we also see, it seems like Ymir has opened her eyes. It seems like that's her anyway. And so I think that, like, you know, she's faking maybe? Like, she's faking the fact that Zeke can totally control her, and she's like, I lived, bitch! You know, like, she just woke up. Oh, wait, but that's not her. Wait a minute. Wait, no. Well, the hair looks lighter here, but that's the royal family lady, right? And so, yeah, I wonder if we are going back in time in some sort of weird way. I guess it's not Ymir. I guess it's not, but, like, it looks like her for a second because, like, her hair, like, the hair is very light here in that shot. But, yeah, and now we're seeing this scene again, right? Like, of, like, when the royal family was killed. And so that's why I feel like memories of the future, because it's all happened before. Like, I feel like there's some weird time travel stuff going on here. And I feel like that maybe that's why we also saw weird, like, goth Mikasa, because, like, we're in timeline. Zeke has tried multiple times at this point, and every time he gets to the path, he remembers that he's been trying it. I don't think he remembers, like, again, reality Zeke remembers. I think he gets to the path, and then he's remembered. He's kept trying to convince Eren. And that's why he knows it'll only go on for eternity, because the show has been going on for eternity, because Zeke has gone back multiple times to try and save Eren, and every time Eren has like refused. That's what I'm sort of thinking, you know, like he keeps remaking the world. So what do you guys think? Am I totally off base? Like, am I crazy? It's gonna be funny if next week absolutely all of this is wrong. Like, I've spent so much time thinking about that. All of it's wrong, you know? Like, I don't want to be entirely correct. I mean, I do. Like, let's face it, I love being right. But, like, you know, like, being entirely right sometimes ruins the surprise. But, like, imagine I'm entirely wrong, right? I would rather be a little right than entirely wrong, even if I'm not perfectly right. After all the time we spent, it would kind of be funny though. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for attending Calxiyn's Royal Court today. Remember that if you guys want to support me, the editors, all of that stuff, to check out the Patreon. And so that way you guys can get more videos like these, maybe of other anime series as well. Thank you again for attending Calxiyn's Royal Court, and I will see you next time. Bye!